From the New York Post, we got this one. Biden tells Obama she's not as strong as me, and ex-president agrees that's true at Ethel Kennedy service. That's not what they said. That's presuming what they said. So the real story is that Obama and Biden were talking to each other, but we could not hear anything they said. Everyone's trying to pull off some lip reading to know the secrets. Some have suggested that Joe Biden says something like, something about Kamala Harris and the chances, and Obama says, nope, she's done. I don't know that he says that. Others have said, nope, that's over. I don't think anybody knows. But it did look rather interesting. Let me play the video for you, and you can, for those that are watching, you can see. For those that are listening, I'll just describe it. There's no sound. I mean, it's just piano music. And then, nope, that's not on. He did not say that. Like, I can't stand this body language lip reading people.
I know.
The biggest grifters.
Right.
It's true.
They're claiming he said, no, that's not on. His mouth does not say on.
Yeah, I heard some people say that Obama was saying it's over to Joe Biden.
That's gone. That's done. He's not saying on.
I love how, but it says unintelligible when you can't hear any of it. It's like, no, but this part's unintelligible.
Maybe she can. She's not as strong as me. No, you know what I think he says right here? It looks like he might be saying, by the way.
Yeah.
I thought he said by. So I watched this without looking at any of these lip reading things. He taps him, by the way. Something, something, something. We don't know. But this is the actual big story of the day. I didn't want to lead with it because it's not anything happening.
It's a little weird.
Well, but it's like, so what do you guys think?
The
theory is that this is Obama telling Biden Kamala can't win.
So I look a lot at when these guys are all giving speeches and talking and stuff, because I transcribe it, and usually I just transcribe it by hand because whatever. I hate the AI thing. Anyways, you can't always, their mouths don't look like the thing that they're saying. It never does.
Yeah.
Whenever you're like scanning through looking for exactly what they were saying.
I think, as Seamus, you're somebody who makes people's mouths move all the time with words, so you know exactly what they said.
No, actually, that's why I know that we have no idea, because one of the things that they teach you in animation school, but of course I knew long before animation school, is that you can lip sync with a remarkably limited number of phonemes. You only need, really, if you want to get really low budget, 6 or 7 mouth shapes that you can combine into basically anything. The fewer shapes you have, the choppier it's going to look. But it's really, really easy to fudge that.
Yeah.
There's just a set number of shapes we make with our mouth, and it is really, really difficult to pull words from that just based on the visual alone. That's why bad lip readings is so popular. They can make people say a lot of things that we know they didn't say, and it's hilarious and absurd.
And there's a viral one. It's an AI audio where Obama says that Kamala Harris is retarded. And, I am not amused by it because the first few seconds are actually spot on. And I was like, it was scary how good it actually looked. And that made me realize there probably is an AI program you could load this into, and it's going to be able to look at the way their mouths move and give you a 100% transcription. The way all this AI stuff works is you guys know how CAPTCHA works? Mm-hmm. It'll be like, before you can go to this website, you got to type in this word. What you're actually doing is not passing a test. You're teaching the AI. The company is using you as free labor to transcribe visual text into the word to tell the computer what the word is. With that massive decentralized labor force, AI has been able to now read physical images, like actual images of written word. If you were to load up every video ever with a transcription of someone talking, the AI would be able to then see what the mouth is moving and the words that are coming out. So there is a program out there that can tell you exactly what these guys said. You don't need a human to do it.
Whether or not this is exactly what he says, and it'll be very hard to ever get down to the truth of it at all. I think this is a sentiment within the White House, definitely within the Joe Biden staff. As the race continues to tighten, people are trying to get ready for the case of Kamala Harris losing in their minds, and they kind of want to get ahead of it. Joe Biden is filled with rage that the idea that he probably had just as good a shot against Donald Trump than than Kamala Harris did, all else equal. So again, we're seeing the Kamala Harris. As we see more of the Kamala Harris campaign flailing, I think we'll see more of Joe Biden saying things like, yeah, I told you so. This was a dumb move all along.
I think it's also really just they're amping it up to be a story, because I think it happens in the context of the ongoing kind of shade war between the different warring factions within the White House, right? You got Bill Clinton like dissing Kamala Harris out on the campaign trail for what really should be a non-story, right? It's a video that no one really knows what they're saying. And I even think it's more interesting to suggest that right now they're like super buddy or whatever, because I think it was just a few days ago, right, in Bob Woodward's new book, War, where Biden was bashing Obama, saying that it's like his fault that Ukraine has been melting down. But yeah.
Yeah, the other piece of it too is that there's one giant story, and it's the election. And no one knows what's happening with it. No one knows what the answer is going to be. So every day people are just like, what's the answer going to be? I don't know. Here's an indication of what the answer might be, but we still don't know what the answer is going to be. So this is just part of that. Like some days, some news stories, there's one story. There's like, that's what it's going to be like on election day. We're all going to be sitting around all day going, there's one story. We don't have the answer. We're all glued to our devices looking for it.
I'm kind of hoping it'll just be something no one expected, just like a totally random thing. Just Condoleezza Rice gets elected somehow, and like Trump and Biden become friends and both announce their resignations, and they're starting a theme park together, and we're just like, what is happening? And then George W. Bush shows up and he's like, well, I'll take the job. And then they're like, what? He's like, but I'll be VP. And then Condoleezza's like, I'll be president. And they all agree. And then we're just sitting here just, what is happening? Obviously, I wouldn't want either of those people to be president. I'm just saying it would be funny if some weird random thing happened.
Yeah, I mean, well, RFK's kind of still banking on that, right? He's like, in some universe, I could potentially be president. That's why I didn't withdraw. I suspended in certain states. But I'm still kind of hoping for it.
When it comes to alleged tension between the Joe Biden staff and Kamala Harris campaign, do you guys think that's more narrative or truth?
Oh, I think they probably don't like each other. I mean, everyone knows Kamala Harris was picked because she was a black lady and had absolutely no other qualifications. And that's got to rankle. And then especially now that everyone kicked Joe Biden off the top of the ticket with no consideration. And now nobody even knows if he's, doing anything as part of his job. He still talks about his cancer moonshot thing. He did the quiet quitting. He's really a Gen Zer at heart.
That's Joe Biden quiet quit.
Yeah, so I don't know if the Kamala Harris campaign, for example, thinks like Joe Biden doing the Trump hat thing is probably him purposefully spiting them. Same thing when he said DeSantis was doing a fine job or whatever.
Right, and DeSantis met with Biden, right, but wouldn't talk to Kamala Harris, and then Kamala Harris and DeSantis we're going at it.
Sure. Well, do you think Joe Biden's doing this stuff on purpose, or Kamala Harris is just being sensitive over all of it?
I think that it's a little of both. I think Joe Biden's probably like, "What? You got what you wanted?"
Haven't you done enough? Haven't you taken enough for me?
Enjoy yourself, Kamala. I hope you like it now.
There was reporting out today probing into the transition efforts of the Harris campaign. And for most of the high-level positions, they were, I think, looking to basically ditch a lot of the Biden holdovers. So I feel like from a political speak standpoint, too, that sort of shows you the difference. And too, she said it last night on Fox, I think the most blatantly that she ever has, my administration will not be a continuation of Joe Biden's.
This is a very fragile Democrat coalition we're seeing here, not only with the moderates, but also on the far left with how pro-Israel Joe Biden and Kamala Harris has been. So we will see the figurative knives come out following Election Day when Kamala Harris comes just short of becoming president.
Well, and the other thing too is Biden wasn't allowed to pick his own vice presidential running mate. He was basically told that he had to pick a black lady. There was a short list of women that he was allowed to choose from.
I think he put that contingency onto himself, though. This was all a political move. He didn't pick. He picked her because he thought. He picked her because he thought it would help him win, not because.
Sure, no,
and that's
sure.
it. So it's a political calculation.
But I mean,
strictly.
he wasn't. He wasn't able to pick who he thought would have been a better running mate.
Well, it's with your vice presidential pick, I think it's all about winning when it comes down to it.
Sure, because that's the only. I mean, ever since John Adams, John Adams really did the vice presidency dirty by just saying, "Well, since me and George don't get along, I'm going to back off and let him do whatever he wants." That was a dumb move. He should have he just showed up at Senate every day.
Kamala Harris has been such a consequential VP too, with her tie-breaking of votes. So
sure, well, that's
rarely
in the mold of John Adams. That's what he was doing.
Ah, indeed.
Well, she's
Yeah.
also the border czar. Let's not
Also,
forget.
the borders are.
Yeah, with her one call to the president of Guatemala, and then her office by June saying
Do
that's
not
not our
come.
job.
Do not
Do
come.
not
Did her,
come.
did her
Don't.
job. Yeah, crushed
I'll
it.
have you guys know she was the last one in the room for every major decision that Joe
Including
Biden
the
made.
withdrawal.
'Cause she
from
got there late.
Afghanistan. Right. You get in late. You still got to punch your
So
time
that's what
card.
she
you
meant. Like,
stay
that's what they
late.
meant. She was the last one in the room.
Right.
Indeed. All
What do you
right,
say,
ladies
that
and
black
gentlemen.
people are always late, Seamus?
That's not what I
that-
was saying. You
No,
said
Charlemagne
that.
said that.
Charlemagne did say that.
Charlemagne did say
literally
that?
told that to Kamala Harris.
And she left.
What was the
Yep.
context?
It was
She
the-
said, I was late by a few minutes. And he was like, well, you are black. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.